Hi everybody and welcome to Monday the 14th of October, a public holiday around Thailand. Things like banks will be closed in most towns, but if you do need to do some banking, if you go to the shopping centres in some of the touristy areas, there will be banks open today. Now, whilst we're very glad to report that it's drying out in most parts of the country, those flood waters are dissipating. Well, it started raining in other parts of the country. Let's go to Phetchaburi. We're sort of on the Gulf Coast, and this is part of the monsoon season for them each year, and certainly plenty of rain. This was from October the 12th and published on the Khao Sot English Facebook page. And yes, it's that time of the year that some of these Gulf Coast locations, Phetchaburi, Hua Hin, Cha Am, Koh Samui, some of those Gulf islands, it is the wet season for them. And we can see the height of their wet season is in October, drops away a little bit in November, then right away in December. So different parts of the country, different peaks for the wet season. So people around Hua Hin, just keep your umbrellas close to the front door. Now, the rain hasn't been deterring the attraction, this baby hippo. We haven't talked much about it, but this new pygmy hippo has become a huge, apparently international hit. Thai PBS World reporting crowds flock to see Moo Deng at the Khao Keo Zoo. Really, who can resist a face like that? And hundreds of people flock to Koh Kiao Open Zoo in Sirasha in Chonburi to catch a glimpse of Moo Deng, a pygmy hippo calf, which has become a global sensation. So it is a 3-day long weekend. What better idea than going to see this pygmy baby hippo? A long line of cars stretched almost 3 kilometres from the entrance because of the huge number of people wanting to get a glimpse of Moo Deng. And officials decided to let people visit the animal in groups of about 5 minutes each in an attempt to ensure that no one missed the opportunity to see the hippo. Well, it's going to take a couple of big stories to push this baby pygmy hippo off the front pages of our publications. Stories like this. Bangkok Post reporting Icon saga picks up steam. And 240 more people filed complaints against the Icon Group company, the company at the centre of a fraud scandal, which has caused over 250 million baht in alleged losses, bringing the total number of complainants to 740. So we'll just look at the label on the can, Icon Group. I think we've only struck the tip of the iceberg in this particular story. And as the number of complaints lodged with the Consumer Protection Police Division continues to climb, more allegations against the company have emerged, with victims in other countries, including Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar and Japan, claiming to have been defrauded by the company. Now, his nickname's Paul. He's the CEO and founder of the Icon Group. He voluntarily turned himself in on Saturday. 5 other key figures from the company, mostly celebrities, decided to follow suit. Thai celebrities, beauty products, online scams. Seems to have been a lot of this going on over the last year. And we switch to KhaoSotEnglish.com. The Icon Group scandal echoes past frauds as Thai celebs face backlash. A lot of Thai celebrities over the past couple of days are facing the media, all with the same story. I knew nothing about this. I was just hired to be a presenter. And it describes Icon Group as a large business enterprise involving celebrities, influencers and stars acting as bosses to promote online product sales, and gradually faced complaints from a group of victims. They accused the group of running a Ponzi scheme. Well, I don't think it's a Ponzi scheme, it's more like a pyramid scheme. Let's go on. By tricking them into buying large quantities of their beauty and consumer products to sell to others, only to find out there's little demand. Many people said that the success of this business was not primarily based on selling products, but on persuading others to join the investment network. I mean, that's pretty much how companies like Amway work, for example. And the story that shocked society was that these people were encouraged to invest more and more until they were penniless. Some attempted suicide, some died, with similar motivation stemming from their admiration for celebrities and trust in the wealthy image of stars or influencers. Now, that vibe is very strong, very popular here in Thailand, and this particular scandal follows another huge gold scandal. Let's just catch up on the latest on that. And the Icon Group business was exposed as a scandalous case following the case of a husband and wife selling gold online, known as Mea Tak and Pa Bia, which was found to have more than 200 victims. The similarity to the Icon Group case is that many stars and influencers participated in marketing activities to promote their gold business to make it look credible and persuade people to buy. And this is why they're called influencers, because people find that these celebrities and these stars and their attribution to particular products, it gives those products more gravitas and more credibility. But we've had so many of these stories this year. So again, once you're online and you're seeing these pretty smiling faces, just be very careful what you're buying. So now it's time for me to use my pretty face and my influence to encourage you to check out 5 Star Marine at 5starmarinephuket.com. They, of course, will take you on a bespoke charter trip out onto the waters of PHANG Bay. And we're moving into the high season, and I know they're already quite heavily booked. So go to the website 5starmarinephuket.com if you do want to check out all the different locations that they can take you. Now, to another scandal, and we go to Calsot English in their Facebook page, and it says 71 Miss Grand International contestants showcase their beauty in a swimsuit competition on Ocean Sky Pattaya cruise ship in Pattaya City. But they weren't meant to be in Pattaya or even Thailand. Miss Grand International this year was meant to be held in Cambodia. But something went wrong. And an article written by Prawit Rojanapruk, published in calsotenglish.com, The Growing Toxicity of Thai-Cambodia Netizen Relations. And the caption for this photo, Miss Grand International contestants give a brief interview to the media upon arriving at Suvarnabhumi Airport on October the 7th after the pageant was moved from Cambodia to Thailand. So all their calls for world peace falling on deaf ears in this case. So it's a decision by Thai-owned Miss Grand International competition to suddenly move the site of its contest from Phnom Penh in Cambodia to Bangkok in Thailand. And with the Miss Grand International big boss citing substandard treatment by the Cambodian host, it deepens the existing bad blood between some Thais and Cambodians. And the writer says the reality is that the relations between people to people on some online platforms have become toxic. And some Cambodians accused Nawat and Thailand of lying, of tricking Cambodia into losing face, and some Thai netizens felt the Cambodian counterpart were simply not committed to keep their words. And Prawit writing, both sides seem to have their own claims and counterclaims. What's more disturbing is the simmering hatred between some netizens of the two neighbouring countries. Just stuff like this. Cambodians feel they're an older civilization, and what is today known as Thailand not only copied and steal many cultural aspects from them and claim they are Thais, but also repeatedly invaded them and dominated them in the past. Etc., etc. Some of this, of course, happening hundreds or even thousands of years ago. The toxic online exchanges between these Thais and Cambodians has been going on for years now, and these hate speech and devaluing exchanges are leaving a very toxic digital footprint, could exacerbate the mutual animosity between a good number of people between our two countries. So Miss Grand International moving from just pretty faces and world peace to somewhat of a minor international incident. I think in the next couple of weeks we can see the Prime Ministers of Cambodia and Thailand getting together for a handshake, a photo op, and everything's fine. Well, over the past couple of weeks we've been hearing more about the possibility of casinos, proposals going to Cabinet that will be looked at, and the thought that over the next couple of years we might see a few casinos popping up in Thailand. Who would have thought? Also a bit surprising when this happened the other day. Was breaking news a couple of days ago, published in Cowsod English. The Royal Gazette published a ministerial order by the Interior Minister legalising gambling for 23 traditional games, sports and competitions under certain hours of the day. Now it includes boxing and wrestling between noon and midnight, a bull, that should be bull racing, between 7am and 7pm, mahjong, other card games, between noon and midnight. And the order was signed on September the 30th and effective one day after the order is published. So certainly a big change in the gambling landscape in Thailand, relaxation of these gambling laws, I suppose just an understanding that it's going to be happening anyway, and, well, the prospect of casinos in the future. It's time for a coffee. And Nation Thailand publishing coffee battle heats up at 4 major petrol station companies. Now, if you've been topping up your tank at a Thai petrol station over the past, well, decade, you would have noticed more and more coffee shops. I suppose the question to you is, do you avail yourself of a coffee after you've filled up with petrol or sent the passengers out to get some takeaway? And the modern petrol station business in Thailand is increasingly focusing on competition through the expansion of non-oil retail operations or by adding more retail space. Now, petrol with notoriously thin margins, and then compare that to coffee with huge profit margins if you run the business well. Recently, Caltex partnered with Chow Doi Coffee to offer coffee to customers at its fuel stations, recognising a growing market demand, with non-oil services in petrol stations seeing a 25% surge since last year. And Caltex stations have a goal of opening 200 Chow Doi Coffee branches across the country within the next 5 years. And just taking an aerial view of this topic, in 2023 the coffee market was valued at 60 billion baht, with 20 billion baht from out-of-home consumption, of which 17 billion baht came from coffee shops located in petrol stations. And that's been growing, it says, at 25% annually, dragging people out of local coffee shops and places like Starbucks to enjoy a coffee at a petrol station. And as of just a couple of months ago, Cafe Amazon reported having 4,277 branches in the first half of the year. That's an increase of 270 branches year on year. Of these, 2,261 branches are located in service stations. Now, as far as Thailand branded coffee shops are concerned, Amazon is by far the biggest. Meanwhile, Inton Coffee has 1,005 branches. That's a decrease of 18 branches year on year. So, interested to hear in the comments, do you avail yourself of a coffee when you go and fill up with petrol? I know if I've got time and there's a coffee shop there, I'll usually go and have a coffee, reply to a few messages. So, well, it seems to work on me. And yes, we do have a new standing set here and Dina in the background. So thanks for watching today. Please subscribe to the channel and we'll do it all again tomorrow.